under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Alder.
Here.
Alderman Flores.
Here.
Alderman Galloway.
Here.
Alderman Hutchinson. Alderman Elwin.
Here.
Alderman Snyder.
Here.
We have 6 aldermen present. We have quorum.
At this time, we have received the May 1st minutes. I would change, is there a motion to accept the minutes? Okay, Alderman Owen, is there a second by?
Second.
Okay, Alderman Flores. Okay, all in favor? And voting on the motion for the May 1st, 24 minutes, do so by show of hands, and it passes. Yes. Okay. I see on the agenda, we have no ceremonial matters tonight or any scheduled visitors or guests. And so we'll go to the first reading, which is a resolution, and it's resolution number 1984.
I move that we read resolution 1984.
Okay, motion by Alderman Flores. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Snyder. Okay, all in favor of voting on the motion to discuss resolution 1984, do so by show of hands. And it passes.
A resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Ozark, Missouri, authorizing the city to apply for certain Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission grants.
Mr. Mayor, I believe this
Yes, sir.
one's mine. Yeah.
Yes.
So what you're looking at tonight is a resolution of support to submit some new grant applications. You may have heard the city of the staff talk about OTO, which is the Ozark Transportation Organization. You probably heard us talk about TAP, which is the Transportation Alternative Program. And that is the federal funding source that we utilize for various different trail projects. For example, phase 1 of the Chadwick Flyer that exists right in front of the OC is one of those projects that we've used TAP funding for in order to be able to accomplish. Through the ARPA funding process, the state of Missouri, Missouri Department of Transportation, and the Ozark Transportation Organization have found themselves with funds that we can use specifically for alternative transportation. And basically what that means is other things other than streets. We can't use this money for streets, but we can use it for trails. We can use it for bathrooms. We can use it for, at trailheads. We can do sidewalks. We can do those types of things. So what you're looking at tonight is just a resolution of support to submit the grants. This is not committing the city of Ozark to any funding. It's not committing the city of Ozark to budgeting any funds. Only if we were to get the actual grants would we come back and then have to make an amendment and bring that for you and sign those agreement documents. So this is just to submit the grants. I can go through the grants for you, and the first one is the Finley River Trail Extension. You may or may not know, right underneath Jackson Street Bridge, where our Finley River Trail goes down. If you've ever walked that, it dead ends under the bridge. We would like to be able to continue that trail, and we have that trail actually designed. And it goes underneath, so the continuation of the Finley River Trail would go under the bridge, and it would head back to the west, which is the right where the new crosswalk in front of the workshop is. That's where that trail would go up. So now you would have a full connection to everything from the trail up to that intersection. And then you would have a safe way to go across in front of Come and Go up to the school and that sort of thing. There is also a spur that comes off of there that we worked with Finley Farms on, that comes off of there to the east of what is the Golden Dragon restaurant. There is an easement that has been acquired to be able to take a connection and make that to the trail, which is really exciting because now you have your Finley Farms area that connects to all the rest of the trails in the area. So that is one of the grants. Another one is Chadwick Flyer. That's phase 5. As you know, we were able to, we were fortunate to receive the funds for the overpass over Highway 65, which is right next to what we call the old Bumstead's restaurant. That's where that ends. We've also got the funds through this TAP grant program that goes down through Tracker. Well, between Tracker and the old Bumstead's restaurant, there is a gap. That is what we're calling phase 5. So we're going back after those grant applications to get that. OC Trailhead Bathroom and Garrison Springs Trailhead Bathroom. These are eligible expense items. We've not gone after these types of facilities before, but we certainly do not want to miss this opportunity to be able to do that if we can improve our trailheads and add the facilities that people are looking for at those. Then again, you also have downtown sidewalk updates. There's various different ones. And then Robertson sidewalk. If you know where Robertson is and it turns back to the east and goes up, I always tell everybody over by Miss Hedgepat's house and goes up the road there. We have a lot of people that walk that road. That's a pretty sharp turn. That's also open ditches. I mean, it's just an area that we've identified in our trail master plan that is a good place to add some safety. And we got the right of way there. So that was just another one we threw in there. And then there's also the Cali Springs subdivision. We have worked with that HOA out there before through various different things and getting easements. And there is a gap out there. And that is one other one that we would like to submit for. If you were to ask me, Steve, are we going to get all of these? Well, I don't know. And that's an awful lofty list right there. So we will, if we can submit them all, then we will know in case we have to get into the bargaining table, like, listen, you can have X amount of dollars, but there's going to be other applications. This is a competitive program. All the area municipalities are in the OTO are able to submit grant applications for this. So we're not the only ones. So I would say, as Mr. McCart has explained to me, these are kind of these are in the order of priority. And if any were going to fall off, you would start at the bottom and work your way back up. So, and with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Anyone? Okay, not seeing anyone at this time. Open this up. Is anyone here who wishes to speak for this resolution from the public? Yes, sir.
21,000. I'll ask you, Mr. Mayor, really for Steve, but I'll ask you. As we've made these improvements and added all these trails, all the things we're doing with Chadwick Fire, Garrison Springs, Finley, you name it. Does this open us up to be able to have more events, right? So now can we start bringing in, you know, for example, rag ride, the big bicycle riding thing that I was tourism makes millions off of. Does it allow us to have more of that kind of stuff, allow us to get other grants, more of this stuff that we had, more trails we had, more outside things we had? How does that benefit us to see beyond having it? It's very great to have that stuff, obviously, but can we bring, does it allow us to bring in things that we maybe didn't used to be able to, but now we have this stuff we can, or does it allow us to have funding because we meet certain criteria to be able to get other grants?
Like I said, once the
Does
trail,
that make sense?
yeah, once the trail is finished, you're right. I mean, there'll be opportunities for events we never been hosted before, because again, people don't want 2-3 miles. They want something that of endurance and all. So I think it'd be very possible things will be opening up to us after the complete trail is finished, which again, it's not going to happen overnight.
Sure. And it's more for more than just trail, like Finley stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the question.
Yep.
All these improvements that will necessarily to other,
Mhm.
we have to continue to build on that stuff because we are doing it, I'm assuming a lot of grants, sometimes tiered, like if you meet these thresholds and you're able to start getting into some other economic as far as like outside stuff, I guess, trails, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be more of an administrative question, Steve.
Yeah, I think all of these things are quality of life building blocks. And I think that the more pieces that we can put together, the more potential you have to generate interest in our area to hold these types of events. I'll ask the second part of your question. Also, in working with all of these, whether they be state or federal funding agencies, it could be MDC, DNR, federal highway, wherever the funds come from. What we have learned is that when you can get a grant and you can show them that you can complete a successful project, you're definitely more apt to have a successful application later on. If you get the grant and you don't complete the grant, then you're kind of in a tough spot. So yeah, so I think this opens us up to a lot of things, especially the Chadwick Flyer, to be able to complete all these phases and eventually get to Springfield. So yeah, I think it's all part of our ecotourism
Plus,
objective. And yeah,
the night we had the open house for Chadwick Flyer, I met a young couple who just moved the day before to Old Work State. And the reason they did that was because of Chadwick Flyer and the trail being there on next to the development hall. And that's the reason they moved here, because they're marathon runners and they're bikers. And that was what drew them here.
I was just curious if that was the direction of the a mindset we have is to bring in.
definitely a mindset and a direction.
Thank you.
Yes, Alderman Snyder.
I just don't want to add to, in reference to that, Josh, the way that the trails are coming together, I think is going to be advantageous to us. I'm a fan of what's happening. The reason I say that, if you research the place, and I related this to Steve as well, down in the Woodlands, Texas, it's a suburb of Houston. I have a relative that actually lives down in the Woodlands. They have trail systems similar to what we're trying to develop here. It goes everywhere: schools, grocery stores, movie theaters, lakes. It brings in a lot of revenue, and they, if I'm not mistaken, they actually engage in the grant writing as well, and they bring in a lot of entertainment. They bring a lot of revenue into that particular area, and they encourage people to come in. And one of the positives out of that is their crime goes down because of the trail connectivity here. Believe it or not, it does. It goes down because everyone lives on a trail out there. Their backyard actually borders a trail, and they have limited to no criminal activity in that particular suburb. It's a good thing, and I think I would like to see it here continue. And if we could research that a little more, I think we're headed in the right direction. Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you.
Anyone else for this resolution? Or anyone against? Now, besides Alderman Galloway, is anybody on Zoom? Okay. Board response. Anyone else has a question for Administrator Steve? Okay, Alderman Flores.
Just a comment. I think this is a very good list of projects, and I like the order that.
Thank you.
If not
It's a
seeing,
resolution too, so.
not seeing one, okay, yeah, yes, this is resolution, yes. We need,
I would make a motion to adopt resolution 1981.
okay, and there's a second? Okay, Alderman Snyder. So motion by Alderman Flores, Alderman Snyder seconded. All in favor of voting on this motion to approve resolution 1984, do so by show of hands. And the motion passed. Okay. Next, now we're moving to second readings. And first we have bill number 3444.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3444 on its second reading by title only, please.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Snyder, second, sorry, give me a second.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion by Alderman Snyder, second by Alderman Flores. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill 3444, do so by show of hands. And that passes.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into a contract with Push Pedal Pull for the purchase of spin bikes for use at the Ozark Community Center.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yes. Yes, Alderman Snyder.
Did you say officer?
I said Alderman Snyder.
Officer, I was like, come on now.
Yeah, hey,
Back on.
you've been an officer for many years.
No, back to the serious piece of business. I would like to make a motion to table this bill until our next breakfast session. And the reason that I do this, I still have some reservations about this, because we have conversation that's going to be coming up within our next breakfast session concerning the OC with some expenditures. I think it would be a very prudent move not to spend anything at all until we get an assessment of what needs to be actually spent within the OC. And that's my motion.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. So make sure I'm doing it right. So we have a motion on the floor to table bill number 3444 until we have the breakfast meeting on May 25th. So motion made by Alderman Snyder, second by Alderman Flores. All in favor of this motion? Oh, wait, we had to do a roll call. Okay, excuse me.
That's great.
Alderman Alder.
Aye.
Alderman Snyder,
Aye.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson.
Aye.
Alderman Owen. Alderman Flores.
Aye.
We have 6 aye votes. Motion to table carries.
Okay, so we will now to bill number 3445.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we place bill number 3445 on its second reading by description only, please.
Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Alderman Flores. So we have a motion by Alderman Snyder, second by Alderman Flores. And all in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill 3445, do so by show of hands. Okay, and it passes.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into a contract with Specialty Air Conditioning Services Incorporated for services related to the installation of certain equipment at the Ozark Community Center.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I just was gonna reiterate that this is tied to the Nectron unit, which is paid for with ARPA funds. It wasn't a part of the initial ask for it, but it is tied to that and it's very necessary to get it ordered. The longer we wait, the worse it's gonna be. Like I said, it is budgeted. And it needs to be paired with the Nectron unit, because we're still several months from this being installed, and the sooner I can get it signed to order, the better.
Alderman Snyder.
Your Honor, again, I would make a motion to table this bill as well until after we have our breakfast session. There are some ongoing discussions with the expenditures, with some maintenance issues within the OC. And I do believe, again, it would be prudent to listen to what those expenditures are going to be with that maintenance equipment before we move forward.
Okay, there's motion by Alderman Snyder. Is there a second to this motion to table?
I will second,
Okay,
but
yes, sir.
I know, Steve, that we are planning on going into this breakfast meeting and we are gonna.
Yes.
The whole thing is about the OC, right? I mean, this is what.
That is correct. The meeting was scheduled for this Thursday and it was a request, I think maybe a month ago when we were having this conversation. Mr. Galloway brought up the bigger picture and we have talked about bonds and those are coming due and so forth. So yes, we moved it back to give ourselves ample time to be able to prepare this. And it is going to be dedicated to that because it is a big discussion about, not just now, but the future and how we are going to proceed with the refinancing of those bonds. And so, yes, that is the dedicated topic on the breakfast meeting. And if there are any specific questions beyond what I'm hearing is that maybe there are, and I just want to make sure that we know what those are so that we can get all the answers. We think we're building a presentation that you want to see. But if there are specific questions that you have, please let us know and we'll make sure that we bring all of those to you.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to speak to is this is just for me, for my sake, my reasoning is just to, since we're so close to having this conversation and kind of getting into the weeds on a lot of this stuff, I'd like to push the pause button until we got there so that we can bring this back, untable this and be able to move forward with a bit more of an understanding of where we're going and what our future plan is.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's a motion on the floor made by Alderman Snyder, second by Alderman Flores, in which to table bill number 344 until the May 25th breakfast meeting.
Alderman Flores.
Aye.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
Alderman Galloway,
Aye.
thank you. Alderman Hutchinson. Alderman Alder. Alderman Owen. We have 5 aye votes, 1 nay. Motion to table carries.
Moving on now to bill number 3446.
A bill number 3446 for a second reading and final passage.
Motion made by Alderman Owen. Is there a second? Okay, Alderman Snyder. Okay. Motion made by Alderman Owen, second by Alderman Snyder. On favor and voting on the motion, discuss bill 3446. Use of a show of hands. And it passes.
An ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into a permanent stormwater easement and temporary construction easement.
Okay. Any staff comments from environmental coordinator John McCart? Okay. Board questions? I see Alderman Flores.
Oh. That's my bad. I forgot to show that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any questions regarding bill number 3446 with John? Okay, I'm not seeing any response. Okay, we need, okay. Owen, we need a motion.
Yeah, motion to adopt bill number 23-022.
Yes.
Sorry, bill number 3446. As ordinance number 23-032.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, on the floor. So. Well, we have a motion by Alderman Owen and second by Alderman Flores to adopt bill 3446 as ordinance 23-032.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
Alderman Alder. Alderman Owen.
Aye.
Alderman Flores.
Aye.
Alderman Hutchinson. We have 6 aye votes. Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to 447.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill 3447 on its second reading by title only.
Okay, motion made by Alderman Flores. Is there a second? Okay, Alderman Snyder. So we have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor and voting on the motion to discuss bill 3447, do so by show of hands. And it passes. Okay.
An ordinance authorizing the city administrator to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Ozark Special Road District to cost share a traffic study related to North 18th Street.
Okay, any comments from Director Jerry Parson? Jeremy, I said Jerry, Jeremy, I know who you are. Okay. Board, any questions for Director Parson? Okay, I am not seeing any motion. Okay.
I move that we adopt bill 3447 as ordinance 23-033.
Okay, Alderman Flores, is there a second? Okay, Alderman Snyder. So we have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Snyder for bill 3447 to be adopted as ordinance 23-033.
Alderman Owen.
Bill number 3448, motion to for a second reading, final passage.
Oh, we did not,
We're doing roll call.
we're doing roll call.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Alderman Owen.
Aye.
Alderman Alder. Alderman Hutchinson. Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
Alderman Flores. Alderman Snyder. We have 6 aye votes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Now we're moving to bill number 3448.
Make a motion for bill 3448 to let it provide a second reading and by title only.
Okay, and it is the first, okay. Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Owen, second by Alderman Flores. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill 3448, do so by show of hands. And it passes.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept and enter into a contract for a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission Transportation Alternative Program grant.
Okay, any staff comments from environmental coordinator John? Okay, any questions for him regarding bill number 3448? Bruce, do you have? I'm sorry.
No, I was just putting my mute off.
Sorry, Alderman Galloway, I should say. Sorry about that. Okay, Okay, not seen.
Make a motion to adopt Bill 3448. 23-.
No, be 3-4. Yeah. Okay, motion made by Alderman Owen. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Alderman Owen, second by Alderman Flores for bill number 3448 to be adopted as ordinance 23-034.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
Alderman Alder. Alderman Hutchinson. Alderman Flores. Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
Alderman Owen. We have 6 aye votes, motion carries.
Now we're moving on to bill number 349, excuse me, bill number 3449.
I'd like to make a motion to place bill number 3449 as the second reading final passage by title and description only.
Okay, is there a second to this motion?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Owen and second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill 3449, do so by show of hands. And it passes.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept and enter into a contract for a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission Transportation Alternative Program grant.
Okay, again, any staff comments? And he shake his head. Board, any questions for Mr. John? Okay, I'm not seeing any response. Okay. Yes,
I'd like to make a motion to adopt on 3449 as ordinance number 23-.
actually, that would be 5. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a motion. Is there a second? Okay. Okay. Hey, we're all on a learning curve. Yeah, no, we're all on a learning curve. That's, no one's perfect. I mean, I have a new friend called Jerry Parson. So, okay, okay, we have a motion made by Alderman Owen and a second by Alderman Snyder for bill 3449 to be adopted as ordinance 23035.
Alderman Galloway.
Aye.
Alderman Snyder.
Aye.
Alderman Alder. Alderman Flores. Alderman Owen.
Aye.
Alderman Hutchison. We have 6 aye votes, motion carries.
Now we're moving to the report of officers, board and committees. We'll begin first by the city administrator, Steve Childers.
I'd like to try to come up with something new and exciting, but I don't have any additional items tonight other than what was on the agenda, Mr. Mayor. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Any questions for our city administrator? I am not seeing any. We'll move on then to our communication department. Yeah, any questions? The report she submitted? Okay, I'm not seeing movement. Okay. We'll move on to our Parks and Recreation. Any questions for Director Stam? Okay. Everybody's been awful quiet tonight. Okay, Planning and Development, we have a written report. Any questions for Director Smith?
I've got a few things that's going to give you an update on the Purple Panda Filipino food. It opened over the weekend, so I think some folks are excited about that. That's in the prior Big Al's Crab Shack location. The Starbucks infill is still underway as well as the Five Below. They're moving along with that facility. The Huey Magoo's had a pre-construction meeting last week. They should be starting to, well, they have started doing some demo work, but they should be moving along pretty soon. James River Ford, if you notice that they've got the facility walls off the exterior, doing a nice improvement update to that building. In addition, the U-Haul construction is underway with a lot of dirt being moved. River Ranch Apartments, they're about to wrap up the first phase of the first set of buildings. They'll be looking at continuing with the remaining 5 apartment buildings as they're moving forward, or 4 buildings, sorry. OTC is working on a permit application right now for an additional building on their campus. That would go in combination or consorts with the agriculture facility. And then one last thing I just wanted to give the board an update on. Our code enforcement officer has given his notice. His last day will be this Friday. We are actually looking for a replacement for that position. But just please let the citizens know and bear with us as we will try to keep up with the code enforcement as best as we can, and knowing that we are moving into the busy time of the year for grass and debris and rubbish. So we'll try to keep up with that the best as we can, as the staff and the building inspectors are looking at those daily. Just to try to, again, address the immediate needs that we need currently. With that, be happy to answer any questions.
Snyder.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Try to get it.
Just a Sonic on the north side, exactly where is it between
It,
the O'Reilly?
it's just north of the beach volleyball, and it's between O'Reilly and it's either east of Dollar General or between the two. I'd have to look at the roads.
O'Reilly and Dollar General, is it in between?
It's okay, it's east of Dollar General. So, yeah,
Okay.
so O'Reilly. I think there's a road in Dollar General, and it's just east of there in the vacant parcel.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it says under review for permits Burger King.
Burger King has been working on a remodel for quite some time. It's still in review. We're dealing with a couple different consultants. There's a consultant working on the exterior of the building or a facelift they had been planning on before it had the fire. But now with the fire, there's another consultant going to work on the infill of that building.
So they are trying to reopen.
That, as far as we know, yes, they are still trying to reopen that facility.
Hope so.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Common question, about one thing.
They've been permitted, ready to open whenever. That they told us it was a staffing shortage. They're fully ready to permit, or I mean, they're permitted to open that. Already.
The potential building on the OTC campus, what size do you know? Or is it
It's
too-
not quite as large as the new building they just constructed, but it's similar to that. It'll just be east of there, near that facility.
Any other questions for? Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have any comments or anything before we close? Yes, sir.
This has nothing to do with the board. But you folks know that I'm very passionate about veterans. Okay. We, on our flight, we actually fly again Wednesday. And if you have not been to one of these welcome home events for these veterans here at Springfield Branson National Airport, I encourage you to try to make the time to come. It is something that you will never forget. We have 81 veterans and 81 guardians on board the aircraft this time. Every flight is good, but this is going to be a particularly good flight. We anticipate about 3,000 people in the airport again this time. But if you can make time and if you want to experience something truly special, come out to the airport. It's a late night. We're due wheels down at about 9:30, but I encourage you to come out. We have a lot of public safety. We have military. We have all kinds of folks coming out. If you want to see something that'll just literally what we call honor flight allergies, okay, it'll tear you up, and it's in a good way. But I encourage you, if you have time, to please come out and be part of that. So that's what I want to say. It's Wednesday evening. Mayor McClure out of Springfield is actually going to meet us on deck out in Washington, DC this time. He's going to link up with us to be there to greet them, because he usually greets us at the top of the jetway when we come home. He's on a business adventure out there in the city, so we're going to link up with him. These guys and girls are going to get something truly special this time when they're out there. We have a few dignitaries that are going to meet them on deck at World War II when we get there. This is senators that's going to meet them this time. They don't know that. I'm just sneaking it out there to you. But if you really want to see something that really hits you home, come out there and be a part of that. I know the fire department, the PD here had a real good showing the last time, and they really bragged on you guys, by the way, because you stood out above and beyond, and that was up against SPD. So they really stood out. But if you want to see something just meaningful, come on.
Very good. And this is for the staff. I have weird work schedule, so therefore at night or on the weekends, I do not expect when I send out emails to y'all and answering questions, I do not expect replies, but I'm working on it as I get to it, so I don't want to forget. So I don't expect replies on the weekends at night, because you're not supposed to work 24/7. But as I get to things, I'm working on it. So that's why I do it. So I won't forget to do it. So does that make sense? Because I'm not expecting like, well, how come they didn't reply to me at 11 o'clock tonight? I'm not expecting that. But I want, as I get it done, I want to get it, get it based off my list. Sorry, but so I get to something else. So, okay, well, is there a motion that we adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let Gal, okay. Okay, and then, okay, so we have a motion to adjourn by Alderman Galloway, second by Alderman Alder. All in favor of this motion to adjourn, do so by show of hands. It passes.